Charlie Parsons for Boxing Social and Association with William Hill and Empire Fight Store. Always a pleasure to be joined by Frank Smith. Almost looks like you just blend in with the curtain. Black on black. How are we, mate?
Good, mate. I'm good. I'm enjoying New York City. I had a bet with my missus that I wouldn't drink for 6 weeks. I did it for 2 weeks while we were in New Orleans and everything. Came here, had a few glasses of wine, so that's why I'm looking a bit ropey. I was having a good few weeks of looking good, you know.
Caved into the temptations. It is hard. It's like my diet out here. Everything's fine, and then I come to New York and the pizzas and the pastas. You cave in?
That little Stony number's looking a bit tight, boy. You'll have to go up to XL in that one, won't you, boy?
XXL. Edgar Berlanga and Jason Quigley have just faced off. Very feisty between the two of them. Edgar seems a little bit rattled this week.
Yeah, it's good. It's what we want. You know, you want a bit of a back and forth between the fighters, 100%. I think Edgar's got a lot of pressure on him now as well. You know, coming back, he's had the focus all around him this week that I don't believe he's probably had in the past. He did a lot of the work in the past with those big knockout wins, you know, and then he needs this type of fight for the step up. If he's going to go in there against the kind of names people are talking about, he needs these kind of fights. He needs to show a brilliant performance. So I think the pressure's on him, 100%.
Frank, yesterday the news came that Canelo signed a 3-fight deal with PBC. What was the team's initial reaction?
Yeah, look, it's a shame. Obviously, we would love to have carried on working with Canelo. He's been brilliant. He's been great to work with, and he's a star of the sport. But he's going to make decisions that are the best for his career, and good luck to him. You know, he deserves to do so. He's, like I say, he's done so much for the sport. He deserves to make the most amount of money possible in the biggest fights, and he's never shied away from any challenge. You know, we've been lucky enough to work with him and deliver his last 6 or 7 fights, or maybe 7 out of 8 fights. He had the Caleb Plant fight in between. I think we had 3 or 4 opponents before that as well. So it's been a pleasure being involved. Maybe it's not the end, maybe it is, who knows. But at the same time, good luck to him. He deserves it, and you know, it's been a fun run. I see all this stuff on Twitter. Like, it's mad how engaged people are on coming after us. Like, we've promoted his last 6 or 7 fights. That was great. We're just a small business from England, aren't we? You know, we come over here and look at what we've done over the last few years. So we've enjoyed it. We're going to continue to build stars and be involved in the biggest events all around the world. You know, and wish Canelo Alvarez all the best in the team.
Away from the Bivol rematch, does it seem fair to say that maybe the better options were with PBC?
Yeah, look, I think there is options, you know, for sure. We talked about the Berlanga fight as well, but maybe that's one for in time. But yeah, they've definitely got, like I say, he's probably fought involving our fighters as opponents as well. Something like 12 of his last 14 or 15 have been either our shows or with fighters we promote. You know, so I think we've had a great run. And yeah, other opponent, like you showed with Caleb Plant, he wants to challenge himself. Look, you know, I think the Bivol fight would still be great. I think, you know, I'm obviously on that one, I'm Team Bivol all day because I was, and Eddie was Team Canelo, wasn't he? But you know, I think there's still potential for that fight in the future. There's potential for the Berlanga fight, you know, and good luck to him.
You talk about the sort of Twitter brigade that come out. Oscar De La Hoya, Lou Dibella, Stephen actually, I don't know if Stephen Espinosa has said anything. Leonard Ellerbe. They've all come out. Lou Dibella said, game changed. Your thoughts?
Look, these people are all just jealous. That's the reality of it. Oscar De La Hoya finished. Like, every fighter that's any good wants to leave Oscar De La Hoya. That's the reality. We didn't have a long-term deal with Canelo Alvarez. We managed to renegotiate on multiple occasions for more and more fights. That was great. We had Leonard Ellerbe. He doesn't promote anyone anymore. He's sort of brought along as a little side piece to Gervonta's press conferences. Like, he doesn't promote any fighters anymore. Lou Dibella hasn't been relevant for about 15 years. Like, so all these people, in my mind, are jealous. Why would you bother saying anything? Just go, congratulations, PBC. Well done. And also, PBC, they've had a brilliant run this year. Tremendous run of shows. And congrats to them. You know, but we will continue to do what we do all around the world, build fighters, build shows, build stars, and that's our focus. But all these people are just, mainly Eddie, lives in their head rent-free, and they can't just, like, I don't know, they're just mental, mate. But good luck to them in whatever they're doing. I don't know if they promote many shows anymore, any of that lot. but good luck.
Okay, so I just, after my interview with Eddie, went up to a representative of DAZN, won't say his name, etc. But Eddie sort of suggested now that there'll be more money to play with for some other fights, being able to make bigger fights. He said, look, that's the sort of idea for DAZN as well. Eddie also touched on, you know, for a company standpoint, having Canelo is always good, but some of the fights don't always deliver as much as perhaps you would like on a commercial value on DAZN, etc. Do you now have a bigger pot to play with for other fights?
Yeah, for sure. You know, look, DAZN have always been willing to invest in the sport for the right fights, and I think there'll be a lot of intent to go after a number of different fights now, a number of different pay-per-view fights. So, you know, it does free up an element. There's only so much money that all these people have got. Everyone's got to spend. Every broadcaster. And you know, we can definitely look now at other options as well and other opportunities, and we'll push hard on that front. So that's something we'll be working through with DAZN. Canelo was tremendous. He's the biggest pay-per-view star in the US and one of the biggest in the world alongside Anthony Joshua. And you know, I think it does, like you said, it frees up the opportunity now to go after other fights, which can only be beneficial as well.
The name I tried to push you on for Anthony Joshua early in the week was Adrien Kabayel. Now, you wouldn't give me anything set in stone. Since then, creeping in, sources, etc. Am I right in saying, and you may double bluff me anyway, but am I right in saying that if it's not Dillian Whyte, that it will be Adrien Kabayel facing Anthony Joshua on August the 12th?
One of the names, potential. Yeah, it's not, again, nothing is done. Let's wait and see, Charlie Parsons. Who are these sources?
If I told you my sources, then I wouldn't be here.
Well, I don't know. I thought you were the only person you talked to was us. I thought you basically worked for Matchroom, didn't you?
Oh. Comments all like that. Anthony Joshua, Dillian Whyte, back in the mix. How quickly do you have to move? I know that realistically, last week you were aiming to maybe announce AJ yesterday. How quick do you have to move on this?
Very quick. Over the weekend, I'd say. You know, it's organising an event of that scale. It needs to move quickly. That's what we'll get on to. Let's see if it's real. Let's see. It's a great fight.
How simple is it? I mean, is it as simple as just giving them a contract with a lump sum of money, no flights, etc.? Just you're fighting for the. I mean, they said that they want the offer, that they accept the offer that you've had. I mean,
hopefully it's simple, mate. Hopefully nice and easy.
Would you rather go Dillian Whyte?
I think it's a fight I'm very intrigued by and would like to see. At the same time, it has to make sense for everyone. So let's see. We'll fire it off and we'll see where we get to over the weekend. But we need to move very quickly, whichever route we go down, and we'll continue having all conversations in parallel.
Where are things at with Joshua Wilder in Saudi?
I'm actually meeting one of the Skill Challenge team tonight in New York, and then we've got meetings with Prince Khalid in London next week. So everything's pointing towards that. It's positive discussions. Again, still work to be done. I believe that fight happens in December, but still work to be done. It's not agreed, not signed, you know. So let's see.
Tony Bellew said that he wants to come out of retirement for a bridgerweight clash. Eddie said no, and then Tony keeps going on about it, and now it's a maybe. Can you see it happening? Is that a main event fight? I mean, how do you even go about this?
I think Tony Bellew's got a massive name, and I think people will be intrigued by it. I don't see it happening, is my personal reality. I don't know if he can make bridgerweight, you know. Big old boy these days.
I suppose just wrapping up on the world of boxing, I suppose on this fight, Edgar Berlanga, if he does win here, what are his options at 168 after this fight?
Look, I think, you know, he needs to have a big performance here. He needs to show that, you know, that spite of old, which built him into what he was. I think this is the kind of fight he needs a massive finish in. And there's big fights to be made. I was saying the other day, you know what the great fight with the back and forth would be Billy Joe Saunders. Whether Billy Joe's looking to come back at 168, who knows? There's lots of fights to be made. It has to be the right fight though. And but all eyes set. It's not a foregone conclusion against Jason Quigley on Saturday night. He's a very good fighter, and I think he's got to get in there and be focused completely on that, and then we move from there.
Finally from me, Regis Prograis against Adrien Broner. They've been going back and forth on Twitter. Eddie said on Saturday, post-fight press conference, he doesn't really want to work with Broner because he's too inconsistent. Your thoughts on it? I mean, it's a great sell.
Yeah, but I can understand what Eddie's saying. You know, we've had discussions in the past, which most of them I think have ended up on social media. I don't know. I think that's unrealistic, in my opinion. But let's see if anything comes of it. Look, we got other great fights to be made. You know, the likes of Jack Catterall, obviously Devin Haney is a fight as well that is very much a potential for Regis Prograis. There's great fights to be made in the 140 division. I don't think it will be Adrien Broner. But then again, it's best not to think much in boxing because anything can happen.
Frank Smith, as always, thank you very much for your time. See you bright and early in Central Park.
Can't wait, mate. You're gonna. What time is it? 10 a.m. See you there, Central Park. What we're gonna break? 26 minutes tomorrow, mate. I'm in pristine form. Trust me.
I've not ran since that run in New Orleans.
Oh, you're gonna struggle with this. It's very hilly as well. Really hilly. Really bad. But obviously, running next to an athlete like myself, I'll get you through it, boy.
Frank Smith, top man. Thank you.